Accidental Love by Gary Soto, Chapter 12. On Friday night, Marissa stayed over at her aunt's house and talked for hours on the phone, first with Alicia, then with her mother, who called to ask if she wanted to go play bingo at the church. She did. Then with Roberto, who begged forgiveness for poking Renee in the nose. He didn't apologize for hitting her. And last with Priscilla, who squealed that Aaron had asked them to shoot baskets with him on Saturday morning. Marissa had agreed. The next morning, Renee was on the bar of his bicycle, honking with laughter each time the bike dipped into a pothole. Careful, I'm precious cargo, he joked. Precious for what? She was playing with him. She laughed when he started a coughing fit after a gnat flew down his throat. Consider the poor little bug your protein. When the park came into view, Renee panicked. I'm no good at sports. Marissa huffed up the hill slick with dew. She caught her breath and said, What do you mean you're no good at sports? I saw you beat Trung yesterday at thumb wrestling. That's because money was involved. How much? A quarter per game. He honked with laughter and bragged that he won $1 off Trung and was prepared to splurge it on a big gulp if Marissa could pay the tax. Man, you know how to treat a chola. Really nice. She planted a kiss on the back of his neck and asked why he smelled so good. I put on some of my mom's perfume. He honked again with laughter. I don't know why I did that. You girl. When she slapped his arm, she nearly lost control and steered the bike into a set of buckled garbage cans. She secretly thought she wouldn't have minded a crash because it would have brought him to the ground where she could kiss him until he was out of breath. The park was nearly deserted. An elderly woman was feeding pigeons, and far away a man was playing fetch with a dog. A rusty swing squeaked in the autumn breeze. Renee jumped off the bike and made a sour face at the sight of his socks. One was blue and the other black. You're a disaster, buddy boy, Marissa said, clicking her tongue. She tossed the bike aside and gave Renee a hug and a kiss on his lips. Guess what? Renee asked. I don't know. I forgot to brush my teeth, he answered, and started his honking. You cochino. She wiped her mouth on the sleeve of her sweater. Nah, just kidding. I brushed them twice. I have ascertained your hunger for my body and figured that you would want to devour it. Hunger for your body? You sound like Aaron. Marissa flung a handful of leaves at him, wrestled him easily to the ground, and planted kisses on his neck, and then a long one on his mouth. But do you think I'll change? Be strong like other guys? Renee asked after he caught his breath before she could answer. He added, You're so beautiful. Marissa's heart leaped like a gazelle. If you change, just make it your socks. They shook themselves clean of leaves and grass and sat on the bench holding hands. Marissa confessed that she did possess a desire to change. She had lost weight, that much was true, but she also wanted to be kinder, less likely to explode with anger. Less animosity towards mankind. You mean? Renee said. Less what? Renee offered the definition of the word animosity, which he said resulted when she called people in moments stupid. Marissa studied Renee and smirked. You think you're all smart. But I am, Renee honked. I took a pre-SAT exam and I scored great. Aaron showed up, a basketball under his arm. He was wearing an oversized Los Angeles Lakers jersey, the back red Kobe. Hey, Aaron greeted them. His sweats had been dragging in the dirt and cuffs had picked up a lot of mud. Hey, his four. Marissa punched Renee in the arm. Don't you dare say it. Priscilla's not here, Aaron asked, with his eyes cast on the netless rim. She'll be here, Mirza said, and against her better judgment, attempted to flatter Aaron by describing a shot he had made against Washington. Yeah, he uttered and did a slow layup. Oh, here she comes, chimed Renee. Priscilla was running up the hill with a beagle on a leash. I am so late, Priscilla said. She was out of breath and her face was pink. Mirza understood why. Priscilla had spent her time dressing. Her hair was done in a ponytail and she was wearing a tight dress. Her lips were shiny with lip gloss. Aaron gawked at Priscilla and did the best thing that a jock could do to demonstrate he liked someone. He passed her the basketball. Thanks, Priscilla said, beaming. She palmed it awkwardly and laughed when it hit her knee and rolled away. Her beagle chased after it. What's your dog's name? Marissa asked. Peaches, Priscilla answered as she retrieved the ball. Come on, let's play, Aaron said. How about you three against me? What a jerk, Marissa thought. She prayed that Priscilla would see for him for what he was, a conceited jughead. Sounds good to me, Renee said. Aaron bounced the ball between his legs and faked left, which all three of his opponents bought. He moved slightly right and finger rolled the basket through the rim. Oh, wow, Priscilla said. That was really good. Aaron bounced the ball and tossed it to Renee, who started toward the basket. He shot but missed the backboard. Hold on, dude, Aaron said. You got to check the ball. You can't just start shooting. And anyhow, it's my outs. I made the basket. Marissa's heart was pumping with something that felt like hatred. Calmate. She warned herself, chill. Calm. She warned herself, chill. Renee instinctively handed Aaron the ball and kept doing it while Aaron scored easily against three of them. They lost 21-0. You're so much better than us, Priscilla said. Like we never got to shoot even once. Yeah, you did, but you missed. Aaron suggested that he play with only his left hand. That sounds fair, Priscilla said giddily. A storm passed over Marissa's eyes. She just didn't like this guy, no matter how handsome he was. They again lost 21-0. So Aaron suggested that they just watch him do reverse layups. Marissa fumed. Still, she watched him do one reverse layup after another. He then had Renee feed him balls as he tried to dunk the ball. Throw it higher, man, he scolded. Renee tossed the ball, but each time Aaron complained about the toss until he finally snarled, "Never mind." He glowered at Renee. "Hey, Buster," Marissa called out. "You think you're so good? Why are you on a losing team?" "Because we don't have a center," Aaron snapped back. "I'm going to go." Priscilla bowed her head, bit a knuckle, and finally cried. Can we just have fun?" Eric ignored the painful moment and spun the basketball on the tip of his finger. He did a layup and then said, "I got to meet some guys." His eyes locked into Priscilla for a long second as if he wanted to say something meaningful. Instead, he spread his attention to all four of them. The Beagle had come to sit at Priscilla's feet and announced that there was a preseason game coming up. He had free tickets if they wanted. "Ah, how generous," Marissa said sarcastically. "Those tickets, what are they, $2 whole? Would break us. I don't think I can afford to buy one." She was hot. How she wished Aaron would do a layup into a brick wall. She had forgotten that phrase Renee had taught her earlier. Something that about antifreeze? No, animosity. That was it. She still wasn't sure she knew what the word meant, but she knew she possessed it within her soul. She was mean as a snake and would have spat her venom if Aaron suddenly hadn't wheeled and started jogging away. The three of them snatched his departure until he disappeared from sight. Monday, because Marissa was late to biology class, ancient Mr. Carver had her stay after to help him retrieve a cart of books from storage. The students were done with the frogs, done squinting at leaves under a microscope, and done kissing petri dishes and appraising the horrid bacteria spawned a day later. Now he wanted to lecture on fossils. "And not fossils like me," Mr. Carver chuckled. He was an old man with rivulets of lines around his eyes and mouth. He walked with a stooped shuffle as if he were ready to spin a bowling ball down a polished alley. Marissa and Mr. Carver ventured into storage. While he stepped among the shelves of books, Marissa noticed a chalkboard on wheels. There was a poorly drawn heart at its center, and within the heart a name, Samantha, taped to the edges of the chalkboard were wilted flowers and balloons deflated with age. Someone had written, "We'll miss you." "Who's Samantha?" Marissa asked. She had a deep feeling that this girl Samantha was dead and her memory no more than a crooked heart. A shiver rose from her lower back and blossomed in her shoulders. "Who?" Mr. Carver asked from behind the wall of books. "Never mind." Marissa shivered when she touched the chalkboard. She examined the chalk on her finger. Chalk as white as bone. She remembered playing dead with her cousin Pilar, when they were little, and thinking that it wasn't really all that bad. She couldn't move, but she still had her thoughts. "What?" Mr. Carver called. He reappeared from behind the walls with a stack of books in his hands. "Who's Samantha?" He set the books on the cart and approached the chalkboard, spanking dust from his hands. "I don't recall," he answered. "I think she died," Marissa said. Mr. Carver nodded. He peeled one of the cards from the chalkboard and remarked, "Maybe she died of a broken heart." "I don't remember her." Marissa thought of Priscilla after Aaron left the park. Priscilla had collapsed against Marissa's shoulder to cry. Marissa had patted her on the back and let her new friend sob. "He's no good," Marissa said, and Priscilla had agreed through clenched teeth. I know. For a second she imagined Priscilla collapsing to the ground, broken-hearted, all because of a conceited boy. Marissa helped Mr. Carver stack books on the cart. She looked back and wondered how long Samantha's name would remain on the chalkboard before someone, a janitor, a student, or a teacher as ancient as Mr. Carver, would erase her name for good. This is the end to chapter 12.